My name is Jamie Pombianchi, and this is my lesson plan assignment for 1, 2, and 3. The grade that I chose was the 4th grade, and the subject is writing and history. The Common Core standards that I chose, the first one is literacy, and it's to orient the reader by establishing a situation and introducing a narrator and or characters, organize an event sequence that unfolds naturally. And the history standard is to create historical narratives using chronological sequences or related events in Arkansas and the United States. What are the objectives for student learning for this lesson? The learner will be able to identify and list the correct sequence of events in a story. They will have the knowledge to dissect a story and break it down into more manageable event occurrences that can be easily retold from memory in the correct order of happenings. The learner will be able to use chronological sequencing to better understand the historical events that took place during the exploration of the United States and Arkansas. They will have the ability to take specific events from history and place them in the order of occurrence from assigned reading. And why have I chosen these objectives? I have chosen these objectives because it is a state Common Core standard requirement for the grade level 4 in both history and literacy. The objective is important because it leads into the natural progression of skills and learning based on students' previous knowledge. The ability to sequence events in a text is a key comprehension strategy that is needed in all areas of reading, writing, and communicating. Student grouping. How will I group the students for instruction? I will begin by introducing the lesson to the class as a whole, having them focus on the story that I am reading aloud. In this large group setting, I will stress the importance of recognizing details within the events that are occurring within the story or the historical story. Next, I will split the students into 4 smaller groups, my main focus on creating diverse groups to allow the students to learn and feed off of each other and their different ability levels. After the activity has concluded, the smaller groups will move back into the larger group setting, where we will discuss their findings to achieve the ultimate goal of the activity. Each student will be given an independent evaluation in the form of a quiz to evaluate mastery of the skill. Why have I chosen this grouping? I chose to start my lesson as one large group to reinforce instruction and give direction to the class as a whole to ensure understanding. By splitting the class into 4 smaller groups, I thought it would be important to allow the students the opportunity to work together and communicate their own understanding with each other. I chose to group the students into diverse types of learners to allow them to learn from each other through communication and understanding. The methods and instructional strategies. What teaching methods will I use in this lesson? The teaching methods that I will use for this lesson are lecture with discussion, small group activity, report back session, and independent evaluation. I will begin the lesson by reading aloud, either a literacy story or the historical lesson, having them focus on the detail of the events and characters. We will then discuss the lecture and why sequencing events is important to help us in our comprehension of the story or historical event. Next, we will break up into the small group activities for peer communication and problem solving. After small group activity, we will report back session will take place, allowing the students to come together to discuss their findings from the activity. Lastly, I will use the independent evaluation method to quiz the students' independent understanding of the lesson. I would use the cooperative learning method from Morzano's instructional strategies for this lesson to provide students with opportunities to interact with one another in ways that enhance their learning. Why have I chosen this method for these methods? I chose the lecture with discussion method to educate the students on the lesson. The small group activity method was chosen because it allows students to work together in a cooperative learning environment. The report back session was chosen to enhance understanding and clear up any misconceptions within the group activity, and it gives us a time to actually, if they had questions while they were doing the activity, we would focus on that at this time. And finally, I chose the independent evaluation method to test student mastery and individual understanding on the lesson. These were my first 3 parts of the lesson plan. Thank you.